Okay, so you just drop it on this knife and the dry stuff goes down in there. So that's already much better than what we were trying to do with a wheelbarrow. What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and if you've been following along with the channel, you know we just invested a lot of time and a lot of money into getting our pond not to leak. We've added fish, we put some really big stumps down in the bottom, and in general we're just improving the pond, got lots of plans for it in the future. But I found a bunch of these stumps around the property, and this is a cedar stump, and I've got some other ones we'll show you as the video goes along. And I was thinking that I want to somehow concrete these so it sits in the bottom of the pond and gives more structure. I've got 5 pieces of structure out there now made out of logs and stumps, but I want to do more because there's an area of the pond that has no structure at all. And the ultimate goal is to grow fish like brim and shellcracker and catfish, and then once those populations get established and they're spawning, then introduce bass as a predatory species and then grow really, really big bass. So I was thinking about how I was going to get this to stay on the bottom of the pond, and I figured I'd use some old plastic containers from trees that I bought and then put some concrete in it. And I've got a machine that I want to show you that I just got. I've never used it before, and it will help me make the concrete to make these structures. So what we have here is the Mud Mixer Evolution. And this takes your dry concrete mixture here in the top, mixes it with water. You got to hook a water hose up to it and electricity, and out of that chute will come pre-mixed concrete or concrete that's been mixed by the machine. Now I saw this thing for the first time a couple years ago at the Louisville Equipment Expo, and I thought it was a really great machine, and I kept it in the back of my mind because I knew that eventually we would get to some of these small projects that need concrete and don't require hiring a concrete contractor or getting a full ready mix truck of 5 or 10 yards. We'll go over it more as I use it because I just assembled it and the assembly is really easy. It comes in a small crate through UPS, and that houses the big part of the machine, and then there's a parts box for the rest of the things to put it together. But it goes together real easily. You turn it upside down, you put on this anti-friction plate here that separates the hopper from the actual base plate or frame, and that way you can turn it. It's got 4 different detents, and you can turn it depending on where you need the concrete. I would say it took me no more than 30 minutes to put it together, and it's ready to go. And it requires 3 things. It needs electricity, and it needs water, and they actually shipped it with a pressure regulator valve, and that is because it needs to have water pressure between 40 and 60, no lower, no higher. So they send it with a regulator valve that I've already installed here. And once you hook it up with water, you got a hose here that makes it convenient to rinse off the machine and rinse off your tools. So here's the operation right here. This is your water valve, and this just adds the water to the concrete. And they say to start at 50 and then increase or decrease depending on the slump that you want. And this sends the auger forward. It'll stay in the forward position to keep pumping concrete. You can stop it, or you can spring load it to the reverse position if you want to stop your concrete real quick. And everything you need to know on how to use it is right here with these operating instructions. So the way it works is it drops concrete back here, dry mixed concrete, and it has water jets here, and water gets mixed with the concrete, and then the auger mixes that water with the concrete, and then it comes out here as ready mix. It also has this shroud here on the top, and if you adjust the shroud out like that, we also have an extension. So once that shroud is out, you can take that extension and put it like that, or you can put it like that, or you can put it like that, and that allows you to pour with less mess, and the outlet still opens easily, and this can come off real quick, and with 1 pin change you can put it right back to its original configuration. I'm excited to use it, and from people that I know that have these, they say once you get it dialed in, you literally can't keep up with it. So you pour your dry mix in there and you got to work your concrete. You might need a helper, they said, because the concrete will just start flowing out of here, and you don't want concrete to dry up and mess up your work. So I've already created one structure, and this is some drainage pipe my friend had left over from a job he did. He gave it to me and I cut it in pieces with the chop saw and then wired it together. And the plan with this is one, all of this is to give fish a hiding place so that when the predatory fish come, that they have a place to hide. So this has a lot of places in between here that fish can hide. And also it has these 4-inch pipe, and I'm hoping that the catfish will spawn in here. Now this is small compared to a big catfish, but when they're smaller, if they can spawn in here, that would be great, and that will keep them from digging in the bottom of my pond. But I want to make some concrete that's really wet, a real loose consistency, and then put it inside of here to keep it weighted down so that once it's put on the bottom of the pond, it stays there. And I've got probably 6 or 8 stumps of different, sizes and shapes. And the idea here is I want to put some sort of wire on the bottom of the stump to give it a bigger platform. And then we're going to take that wire, we're going to cut this down, and we're going to put that wire in here, and the concrete should adhere to the wire. And I'll probably put a few screws in here as well so the concrete can adhere to that. And whether this comes off afterwards or not, I really don't care, because this is safe to put in the pond and it'll last forever. First thing I'm going to do is cut this down. The concrete doesn't need to be that thick to keep this weighted down on the bottom. So we're going to try to make this easy on ourselves and get it right the first time. All right, that's going to work real good. Now this is a cedar stump, so it shouldn't rot, or at least it should last a very long time. And when I look at the way I want this stump to sit in here, I could just bury it in the concrete and then I'll lose some of the height. Or if I could hold that concrete off a little, or hold that wire off a little. Got some leftover cattle panels here from building the barn. So we're just going to cut these to fit. Since I want this concrete to kind of be lower than this, I've decided rather than taking my wire and putting it right here, I'm going to hold it off with some screws and tie it up with some rebar tying wire. I think that'll work great. I used that rebar wire to hold that on to those screws, and then we'll fill that with concrete and put it like that. It holds it off, get plenty of concrete, and it'll give that concrete something to stick to rather than this wood. So that's one done, a bunch more to go. This cedar stump here is by far my favorite. I was doing some wood chipping in a pile, and this stump was in it, and I don't even remember where this tree came from, but look how tall that's going to stand up. We don't have to do all that wiring business. We can just put the cattle panel right against here and dip that in concrete. Hopefully it'll stay up. Just so much, or so many places for fish to hide in that. That's going to be my favorite one right there. And I'm using a bigger one than I need to, because I want that one to definitely have the concrete go down when I deploy it and hopefully not fall over. If I have to, I'll put on a mask and snorkel and go down there, make sure it stays up. Well, first of all, I think I need to cut this square, so that'll give it its best chance of sitting level or sitting plumb, because otherwise it's going to want to lean. How about that? A little bit more, and then I can get staples in it, and then I'll have all of these to catch the concrete. I think what I want to do is put some sort of spacer under there so that concrete can get on all sides of the wire. I cut some pieces of our stall mats for our cows, and I think that'll work good just to hold that off a little bit. Yeah, that holds it off. It'll let concrete get all the way around that wire. Good to go. That one's ready now. I think I like it better if it's like that. And to do that, we'll put concrete here somehow. Even if we do it like that, I'll put some wire on it, and then we'll do the same thing on the tail end. We'll put that in concrete as well. And then it should stand up like this. I like that. It's almost like the bow of a ship or something, but if that will sit on the bottom like that, that would be super cool. I trimmed this up with the chainsaw so all this would fit better, and I really like getting some separation there, so I'm going to use these again. I've pre-cut them, and also I've pre-drilled them. Perfect. I'm all prepped and ready to fire up this mud mixer. Let me show you what we got. We've got 2 tall trees, again the bottom with the wire on them, and my planting containers to put the concrete in, and then the big one here and the little one there, and my favorite one over there. But I hope to get some more artificial structures, smaller ones, more like grass and stuff, to put around them, because we want just the most healthy, most safe environment for the little fry to grow up so the bass can eat them. I got the electrical power hooked up, and over here I have the water hooked up and turned on. So let's purge that real quick. All right, all the air is out of the system. Let's read the instructions. Right there it says minimum 40 psi, 35 to 50 recommended on the water dial. Red auger switch for 5 seconds to test the water and the auger. Pre-wet the chute using the secondary hose. So that's what we'll do in here. And then you just put the concrete bag right on top of that cutter, and the dry concrete goes down in there. First thing it says is to turn the water on and hit the switch and make sure the water's working. All right, so I see water, sure enough, squirting in there. Got water coming out here. So it squirts it right there, mixes with the concrete all the way down the auger. All right, guys, I got 80 pounds here. I picked up 10 bags of 80-pound concrete this morning. I don't even know how much I'll use. I'm assuming I'll use 1 or 2 bags for this little job here. Okay, so you just drop it on this knife and the dry stuff goes down in there. That. So that's already much better than what we were trying to do with a wheelbarrow a few weeks ago. So far we've impressed Deb, and that matters because she helped me with the pond spillways, and neither one of us want to do that anymore. All right, I'm going to hit the button, see what happens. There it comes. So the guys at Mud Mixer told me that with a well it may perform different. I don't understand why, because a well runs 40 to 60 psi, but I was getting a real dry mixture, like almost no water in it at all. So I cranked up the water to 75, and we're getting a good mix there, but I think I almost have to put it all the way, and I'm gonna have to add water here to make this usable. Yeah, that's a much wetter mixture at 75. I dialed it back to 25 just to finish the bag. So that's 80 pounds of concrete right there. Now the instructions say to adjust the water slowly until you get the mix you want. And I think they couldn't be more right. And my friends that have these told me the same thing. It takes a while to find the right water to concrete ratio. And you start at 50, and I went up to 75, and then it got too soupy. So we're going to put another thing of dry in here and keep our water almost to nothing so that I can turn what's left in that bucket into something I can use. With this hopper extension, that's a little tall. All right, that works beautifully. Cuts that bag right in half. But let's just run it at like 5. Let's turn the water all the way off. Just see what happens. All right, so that's basically a dry mix there. And let that go in the bucket and absorb some of that. See, it's just dry now. There's no water at all. So you can recover from an improper mixture until you get it right. I mean, that might be a good mixture right there. Yeah, that's a good slump right there. I think it's gonna come out okay. I'm hoping these stand up on their own. Man, that's cool. Not just a mud mixer, but this whole project. Now, off camera, something I did was I put some screws going this way into everything that's getting concrete, just so the concrete has something to grab onto besides wood and whatever we put on the bottom. So that's a good slump. It's getting in there and all the cracks and crevices of the wood. I don't think there's any way that concrete's coming off of that piece of wood unless the wood rots completely. Okay, on this one, you can see the screws that I put on the side. We'll do the same thing. Fill this up with concrete, push it in there. It's going to overflow. Not too bad though. So far we've used 160 pounds of concrete. That bucket's almost empty. Oh, there's still some in the mud mixer though. So these are going to be fairly heavy. Look at that. Imagine them on the bottom of the pond. The fish are going to love them. So it feeds it in there. It's feeding nicely. Keep that dry. If you keep that dry. And now I've done about 60 on the water. We're getting a real nice slump at 60. I mean, once you get it dialed in, I can see how it's going to push out, 80 pounds of concrete as fast as you can use it. I mean, Deb and I were using a wheelbarrow and a hoe and a shovel, and she would mix it up, and then I would use it, and it was a lot of manual labor. There was the cutting the bag, there was putting it in the wheelbarrow, there was adding the right amount of water, and then back and forth with the hoe and the shovel. This is easy. This one's going to be interesting because I didn't put two on it like I said I was going to do earlier in the video because I didn't think it would sit right. So I went to just one attachment point in the center there, and if I can get it balanced right, it's going to be really cool. It's looking like two bags are going to do everything that I need to do here. So we won't be making any more. There's just a little bit left in the mud mixer. Again, imagine that on the bottom of the pond. You got some fish up under here. Maybe some things start growing on here. And a bass is coming around here chasing the little fish. And maybe there's a catfish on the bottom there. But that is awesome. That came out, everything's come out awesome so far. How cool is this going to be? I mean, seriously. So far, everything's been free. I mean, all this wood is from our property. The galvanized wire pieces were from a leftover project, so although we paid for them, they would have been scrap. Most people would have thrown them away. So the only thing that was actually bought was $8 a bag for concrete, so $16 worth of concrete, and, $1 or $2 in screws and staples. All right, this one may not stand up on its own, so I may have to kind of lean it against one of these. Here we go, Medusa. Let's see if it'll stand on its own. Yeah, it'll stand on its own. Look at that. That thing is awesome. I mean, how cool is that for real? So many little hidey holes in there. So we got 6 structures for the bottom of the pond, and we got to use the mud mixer for the first time. And I feel so much more confident that the next time I use it, it's going to come out, it's going to work flawlessly. But that'll wrap it up for today's video, folks. Be sure to look out for more videos about the mud mixer and also deployment of these in the bottom of the pond. So many things going on here at Piney Grove. Consider subscribing, hit that like button. But until next time, y'all take care out there.